When citizens line up outside a polling booth, the rules of democracy say everyone is equal. One person, one vote. But the journey to get to that line is a completely different story. Before a ballot is even cast, voters must navigate three deeply entrenched invisible walls: gender, religion, and caste. This pyramid represents a rigid, ladder-like social hierarchy. Generations of systemic design have placed a small minority at the top, while pushing the vast majority to the bottom. When election season arrives, political parties do not ignore these divides. They actively map them, target them, and exploit these hierarchies to build loyal vote banks and secure power. Far from being separate from governance, these social divisions form the raw architecture of Indian politics. They set the stage for a constant battle. Will these divides be used to exploit voters, or will voters use the political system to empower themselves? Consider the household. Expectations often dictate that women manage all work inside the home while men earn money outside. This sexual division of labor rests on social stereotypes rather than biological rules. This graph shows female representation in national legislatures, and the numbers reveal who actually holds the power. While the global average sits much higher, in 2014, women made up just 11% of India's Lok Sabha. Men largely exclude women from the very rooms where the laws of the country are written. This monopoly hasn't gone unchallenged. Feminist movements, led by citizens demanding equal rights and opportunities, took to the streets and the courts, turning this social grievance into a loud, undeniable political demand. By pushing the issue squarely into the political arena, these organizations forced a massive legislative concession, securing a mandatory one-third reservation for women in local governments across India. The lack of representation exposes a deeply patriarchal reality in our leadership. Yet, it was the political system itself that provided the exact mechanism, reservation, needed to begin dismantling it. Then there is religion. When political parties align themselves with specific faiths, they often fuel communalism, a belief that followers of different faiths have entirely opposing, incompatible interests. A common tactic in communal politics is fear-mongering. Leaders often spread the idea that a minority religious population is multiplying so rapidly it will soon overtake the majority, threatening their way of life. This chart visualizes demographic data from the Census of India and the Sachar Committee. Look at these smaller slices. Expert estimates project the Muslim population proportion will only increase by 3 to 4% over 50 years. The overall population balance is not shifting massively. Religious politics thrives in the dark, feeding on generated panic. But when transparent, decades-long census data is brought into the light, it neutralizes that fear and exposes the political manipulation for what it is. This pyramid diagram illustrates the Indian caste system. It's a rigid structure where social classes are determined by heredity, locking individuals into a status from birth. This hierarchy birthed untouchability, enforcing severe, systemic discrimination that kept lower castes socially and economically backward. In modern elections, political leaders exploit this history. They carefully select candidates and draft manifestos tailored to appeal to specific caste identities, aiming to mobilize massive, reliable vote banks. But there is a mathematical catch. No single parliamentary constituency in the country has a clear majority of one single caste. To win an election, a candidate must secure the confidence of more than one community. The sheer math of a democratic vote forces even the most extreme social hierarchies to compromise, negotiate, and form cross-caste alliances. So when we see gender, religion, and caste plastered across campaign billboards, we have to ask, is mixing social divisions with politics inherently a threat to democracy? It certainly can lead to dangerous polarization. But as we see here in this 1996 Dalit rally, politics is often the only avenue their rights and force the government to listen. The ultimate counterweight to all of these divisions is universal adult franchise. Once you reach voting age, you get one vote. It does not matter your class, your color, your religion, or your gender. The challenge for every voter is to look past polarizing labels and fear tactics. We have to recognize when our identities are being manipulated and consciously choose to vote for policies that lift marginalized groups up rather than keeping them down. Social issues in politics act as a double-edged sword. They have the potential to drive wedges between neighbors, but they also provide the specific political leverage needed for marginalized groups to demand a fair share of power.